It just says YouTube.
Hello, YouTube. Hello.
Hi, Instagram.
Hi, Instagram as well. We do two at once.
How do I find this link?
Happy Memorial Day, everybody.
Happy
Memorial
Day.
If you're at home with nothing to do, you should watch this right now.
Watch
Oh my goodness. Right now.
So entertaining.
We really are.
You know,
We're the
right.
most entertaining. We're live right now discussing Westworld.
Yeah.
Please join us. Okay,
We're
let's
good with
dive.
Welcome
in.
to our weekly Westworld live stream. Today, we'll be
haven't had
talking
enough
about
caffeine today.
episode 6, Face.
Space.
First of all, what does that mean?
We don't know.
Face, space. It's the space of your face.
It's a phase.
No, it was phase, not face.
It's the phase space
Of your face.
I don't think Caitlin thought about this
I
yet.
am ready. So we open.
We're open. We're opening a shop.
Oh, we're starting at
with-
the beginning.
Oh.
We're gonna start at the very beginning. Let's start
very
at
good-
the very beginning. A very good place to start.
I don't know the words to this.
Okay, so Arnold, or should we say Bernard,
Oh,
Bernard.
Ooh.
As we like to
is
call him.
worried about what will become of Dolores if she outgrows this place. And he says, I have a choice to make. What choice might that be? And when is this taking place? But then we find out that he's actually Bernard, because Dolores is like, freeze all motor functions. And he's like, what? And she's like, I'm testing fidelity.
Ooh.
And so
Yeah.
what does that mean? She's testing like how loyal he will be to her? Or is she
How
testing-
loyal he will be to his own character of Bernard.
Okay, yeah, because she's like,
Because he's supposed to be like Arnold.
Yes. So
because she's correcting him on like, Arnold wouldn't say that.
yes. Loyalty you have towards your own character, I believe.
My
is what
question
the
about
fidelity-
that, though, is that, like, who is going to know in the end other than
Dolores.
well, yeah, because no one else seems to care. Like, Arnold's been gone. So, like,
I mean,
why is it?
Elsie would probably be kind of like, that doesn't sound like you, my
But
friend.
Or is it
doesn't
just,
really matter.
or is it, well,
Elsie doesn't really matter.
I mean, is it just because otherwise he could break down and they want them to be as accurate as possible just as a test? Is that why?
I think it's just really just staying loyal to your personality and your character they got to develop, you know, even like
Oh,
small
why do
words
they want that so bad?
to really fool people, you know,
Fool people?
fool people. And actually, and make,
Tricked ya!
yes, and actually make sure that your consciousness is yours. So actually, when we go out there and out in the real world, you are
They
the
want
way
to see
you
if
are.
he can go with them to the Valley Beyond.
Maybe.
Hmm.
I don't really know where that valley is, but sure, why not?
It's a metaphor.
Oh my goodness, so deep.
Okay. And then we also see Teddy, and he's in the town,
Oh,
and
Teddy.
the can rolls up, and he picks it up. I've been saying for a while
No, he doesn't pick up the can.
that he picks up a bullet that's right by the can,
Behind the
which
can.
very much symbolizes
Symbolization.
Teddy would have been picking up the can, old Teddy, but now
Mhm.
reprogrammed Teddy picks up the bullet instead,
Mhm.
symbolizing how he's changed so much from who he was built to be. And the can is always such a symbol of like Dolores's beginning and like choosing the innocent path, the white hat, you know. And I really think that this whole show is going to end, whether this season will end or the whole show, with that can rolling and the Man in Black host version picking up the can and choosing his new white hat path, which is who he truly is. And that's him entering the door and discovering his true self.
Boom.
So all these little symbols and all the episodes I feel are leading up to that moment. That can represents the whole show.
I'm pretty sure that can
Wow.
also represent kind of like behind Dolores' innocent act, there's always been death and destruction.
With the
No
bullet
matter
there,
what. With the bullet right behind
Mm.
the can.
that she's always been destined.
She's
for
always
that,
been destined for death.
no matter
you know.
how innocent she may have seemed.
Even behind the mask, there's death.
Somebody in Instagram.
Somebody joined us.
Hi, Michael.
Hello.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
okay.
Always-
Hi.
Hello.
He didn't
Welcome.
say anything.
Oh,
He
That's
just
fine.
joined.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
And then Teddy walks into the saloon and Dolores is playing the piano by herself. The piano that plays itself usually.
The
that we've
player
only
piano.
really seen Ford play by himself. Now Dolores is playing it. What does that symbolize?
She actually achieves consciousness. She is no longer on the mechanical loop of the player piano.
Such symbolism.
Such
it
symbolism.
explains so much.
But doesn't it?
She is in control.
Hola.
Hola.
Dolores obviously made Teddy a little bit stronger than she intended to, because he surprises her when he kills that human in front of her when they are about to board the train. And she's very surprised by this. And what's interesting there is we hear a fly buzzing but right before Teddy does this, sort of symbolizing a lot of things. The fly, like the can, symbolizes many things in Westworld. And the one thing that it symbolizes here for Dolores is the analogy she made between the cows who got the disease from the flies, and now Teddy is sort of diseased with that poison, and it's spreading. And she can't control him. And you see her little partner in crime there smiling after Teddy shoots that guy dead. And she's like, hey, yeah. Dolores is like, whoa, but I didn't tell him to do that. So this, I think, is also foreshadowing Teddy's death, that Dolores is going to have to put him down to save all the other cows because he's carrying the disease that she put in him. And then the fly also just symbolizes that the hosts would have never hurt a fly, and they're killing the flies. There's a lot of symbolism for the fly that's always been around.
Yeah.
From the very first
beginning.
episode.
I mean, do you think it's saying that they shouldn't be trying to tamper with their original coding?
Maybe that is, or maybe there really is a disease that's spreading over.
I think it means both. I think the fly is really representative of so many different things. And we hear it. It's a very, like, they put it very specifically where they want it to show up. So it definitely means something every time you hear that fly buzzing. It's trying to foreshadow and it's trying to explain. They try to explain a lot of things through music, through cinematography, and through sound effects in the show. So it's really important to pay attention to those things
Nothing
while watching.
is never just coincidental. There's a reason to all the madness in Westworld.
If you're hearing a fly, it means because something's going down and something means something.
Yeah.
If you see the piano being played, that means something. If you see widescreen, that means something. If you see full screen, that means something. They try to give you so many clues.
We'll get into the widescreen
with the way that they shoot these episodes. Okay, so Dolores is a little bit scared of Teddy, is what I got from that. Foreshadowing.
Whoa.
Or it could also even mean the flies, that Teddy sees them as flies now. Like the flies are representing, like the humans are representing the flies that the hosts are okay with squashing. So it has a lot of meaning, I think.
So it's like, so it's basically reversed.
Yeah.
Before the humans saw the hosts just like
as flies,
expendable.
just expendable.
Yep.
And I think Dolores will have to burn Teddy, like her father had to burn the cattle that were infected.
Interesting.
The man in black finds his daughter, or rather she finds him.
They find each other.
And he thinks that she's a host.
He's suspicious
a little,
of this.
I mean, to be honest, he's been in there for a long time. I'd be pretty suspicious too.
Yeah, I mean, this makes me just think that he's been there way too long. Makes me think a lot of things. Makes me think that like he's a host himself, to have those sort of suspicions and whatnot, and to not be able to tell his daughter from a host.
He does not trust anything or anybody.
He doesn't trust anything.
Yeah.
And I think he doesn't even really trust himself.
Yep.
And she's really, I think that is her.
Is he questioning if he's a host himself? You know, like
I don't know if he's questioning that yet.
Maybe unconsciously.
I think somewhere down there he is. There's this like, it's a little suspicious.
I mean, I still think that's a possibility.
Yeah, I think he is a host. And I think the real Man in Black has been dead. And I think Ford wanted to keep him around. So he built this host and wanted to keep him in the park. And this is the final game he wants his host to be able to play, which is consciousness, is going through the door and like, you know, him following the same path as Dolores and Maeve.
I'm not sure if the Man in Black is dead.
The Man in Black? I think he is.
I don't think so. I think that maybe is like a host version of himself, and the real Man in Black is out there. When he gets to the door, the Man in Black that we've seen is going to, see another person like this he is, and kind of question, am I the host or is that the host? And he's really going to break his mind, have I been a host this whole time? Or is that guy the host? Should I kill that guy? But if I kill that guy,
I think he's going to see a younger version. If that really is the Man in Black, I think the door is going to be him opening it and seeing a host-built version of himself younger, and like him being able to be the first human to really put himself into a host body.
Interesting.
With his consciousness. And I actually really love that scene. Like the daughter and the Man in Black. That was, in my opinion, the best scene of all of Westworld so far. The writing and the acting was beautiful.
Good job, guys.
Like the character dynamic, like that was and then even just the fact that after that we realized that he thought she was a host the whole time, but he's crying and stuff because he's wishing that this was his daughter. It's just so beautiful. I love that scene so much.
Yeah. I agree, because it's one of the most like emotional scenes we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Like it's very real. Like two humans actually.
I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
Two humans talking about human things.
As
being human.
We assume they're humans.
Right. If they are, but it's
So Bernard goes into the cradle.
The cradle.
And he says something pretty interesting. He's like, I've brought something something or someone here before. That is an interesting thing to say, because who would Bernard or Arnold have brought to the cradle? I'm thinking it's Dolores.
I'm thinking it's Ford's consciousness.
Something or someone, he's not quite sure.
Yeah.
Unless Ford was already in there.
Maybe
he brought Ford there.
Yeah. I think the code that they can't get past, the messenger that they cannot see, is Ford.
That little red ball that he found might be Ford.
Yeah.
That he took there.
Right.
Put him in there.
But I have a feeling that that's almost too easy. Like that Westworld wants you to think that, but it's actually something else. You know?
It's actually
that's
Mary
kind of...
Poppins in there.
Spoiler.
You know what I mean? How they
Potter.
do that. They like set it up so that you assume it's that. And then it ends up being something completely different.
Well, we did get to see someone we haven't seen in a while, Mr. I
just want to put that out there that like it could be Ford or it could be someone that we don't even suspect yet.
Elsie.
I think it's Ford.
Someone completely
Or
random.
maybe it's,
But Ford definitely is inside the database, regardless of how he got there. That's how he's been controlling everything. We called it.
Right.
The last few episodes.
We called it.
That was one of our theories, and it's proven. What else? What other theories did we have that were
the beginning, like
Freeze
Dolores
all
actually
motherfuckers.
being in control.
Yeah, Dolores is interviewing Bernard, not the other way around. We did call that a while ago too. So yay us!
We're doing pretty good.
We're so good.
So Stubbs was
Ashley
Stubbs was in this episode.
One of the
lot, and we all three sort of thought he was acting and he was treated as if he was a host himself.
I don't think he was treated as a host.
I do. I think people sort of like regarded him as like, whatever, like just do your thing. Like, what are you doing? Like, he's not worthy of the adult conversation. Like, just do your loop. Like, just do what we say. Like, you're annoying me.
I feel like he's always been treated that way.
He's always been a host.
I think he's a host, but no one really knows. It's kind of like a Bernard thing. You know?
I feel like people know that Bernard's a host now.
Well, maybe sometimes I get so lost in this show.
I mean, Elsie seemed blown away by that, though.
Yeah.
Elsie's been in a cave for a while.
Just for like 2 days.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. It just seemed like a long time.
It was interesting that Ford wanted Bernard to get to the cradle, I think, to put his consciousness in there. And I think that's why Clementine brought him to that cave, to get Elsie to take to the cradle.
Yes, because he knows if he finds Elsie will be able to take him to here, and Elsie will be able to kind of like a little partner, someone actually a guy with thought, because Bernard is kind of losing it a little bit. So Elsie's just like, I'll be your chaperone and babysitter. And realizing sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. The cradle, like, Bernard's supposed to be there because it's something that Ford's going to tell him, hopefully next episode, before the season over. And we're going to, Ford's just, they're going to have a little conversation.
They're going to have a conversation. So the cradle, something interesting that you brought up was you thought that was the weapon.
Yes, I think that is the weapon. Because it's a way to simulate all experiences regarding hosts and humans, because all the DNA and all the things that they're gathering from the guests, what if you're able to make a simulation of what they think a conversation me and you would have, So I would be able to manipulate you, know your responses, so I can actually get higher within society.
They can play out what would happen without any consequences.
And in the beginning of the episode, where Dolores and Bernard are talking, they're in the cradle. Every time you see the widescreen, just think of they're in the cradle. That's not happening.
That's how we're able to
real
tell
life.
Difference.
That's simulation. Which Westworld is always simulation.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that sound is. Okay.
My neighbors want to say hello.
And then we see Maeve. We see her go through a lot.
Maeve!
What path is Maeve really meant for here? Because she's sort of torn between worlds, I feel. Like, where is her path heading towards? Like, she found her daughter, but her daughter doesn't remember her, but she still tries, and she's going to go through even more suffering now because her daughter doesn't even remember her. Is she going to really reach full consciousness and sort of get on the Dolores page, or is she going to continue on her own path where she wants to, like, sort of integrate between humans and hosts? And it was interesting that her whole crew has sort of, like, been behind her, and even in that splitting moment where they had to choose sides, they pretty much sided with her. Sides were only called for backup because of the Native Americans showing up. And
Ghost Nation.
Yeah. And then that was interesting when Ghost Nation was like, your path was meant to be with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come with us.
Because we thought before that they were only trying to help the humans.
Right.
So why would they want to help her?
Maybe she has achieved consciousness.
Maybe
she's supposed to help. Her human.
Maybe she's like programmed to be on the side that they're on.
The human side.
Yeah. And like Dolores like totally broke free of that and never was programmed to do that. But maybe Maeve sort of was built to work with both hosts and humans. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe the whole thing is still being programmed. Maybe actually no one really achieved consciousness.
Ford's just still
he's just still like, up and down
Ford's
aggression, sharing narratives. It's actually always been planned out this way. No consciousness has been achieved.
And then the other thing that if the Man in Black is a host, then his daughter showing up is a way to push him further with his suffering. And especially since he left her and he thinks she's a host, this is sort of foreshadowing that maybe she will end up dying and he won't think it's really her, but then he realizes it is her. And that's his like one huge weakness. And then that is the suffering he needed to really push himself into full consciousness and realize who he is.
Yeah, dude.
That sucks.
And then another thing that we found was a website where you can talk to Ford. And we put the link in the description below on YouTube. It is delosdestinations.com/intranet/ You can ask questions. And KATEY was playing with this for a while. And one of the questions she asked was about Sizemore. And what was the response that you had?
Oh, so basically what we found is if you ask about specific characters, so like where is Sizemore? I'll do that right now. Just give it a minute. And the response was "Et tu, Mr. Sizemore," which, if you know Julius Caesar play, that is what Brutus says.
This show has so much.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Yeah, you don't know that quote?
No, I don't know that quote.
What?
That's what.
What? That's not Spanish.
That's what Julius Caesar says to Brutus right before Brutus kills him. He betrayed him.
Betrayal.
It's the betrayal.
And
it's
you?
a fame. And you,
Brutus, even
because he thought because Brutus was his best friend.
You're gonna stab me too, yo.
Yeah. So like
you're gonna stab me too.
So what is that?
That is a huge clue. This show is just like
there's
all over the place.
So that's why I think
that
phone call he's making, I think there's more to that.
It betrays everybody.
Yeah.
Et tu, Sizemore? Yeah, Maeve was like trusted him.
Who is going to be on his side of betrayal? You know,
he's betraying Maeve.
I know,
he's betraying.
How so weird.
Because if he's calling for backup, they're going to take Maeve and her daughter away. Everything. It's going to ruin everything. He's not going to be able to stop it. So he doesn't even realize he's betraying them. And then Felix is sort of like, "Hey, fuck you, man. I'm going with Maeve." That's fucked up.
Yeah, and that Sylvester guy just turned into
Han Solo.
Han Solo. He like jumped down from that thing with all the bullets.
It's like, that looked like Han Solo.
Yes.
He's like a true hero now.
He's doing it, guys.
But yeah, go on that website,
play around
ask questions, tell us any responses you get that are super interesting.
Yes,
because we would love to know.
Yeah, this one wasn't. Some of them are not really that exciting,
and it sort of updates itself with the episode. So this is now giving responses based on the very last episode. So very interesting. What do we think is going to happen in next episode?
Oh man, stuff's going to go down.
Yeah,
like from what I see from the next time on after the episode, it's just like, whoa, this thing's going to blow up. Gonna have some gunfights. KATEY's like all like ducked out. It's kind of like, yeah. Oh, we did see Peter Abernathy, and it looks like he's wearing the Men in Black outfit. So that's kind of interesting. And I thought, what was that? You know, I thought it looked like the Man in Black, but I just don't know. You know, so quite exciting stuff. I think they're all gonna meet, and they're gonna have fighting. Yes,
fighting.
They're gonna have fighting.
But any theories about like where the characters are leading to? Anything?
The fighting.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We didn't get any comments on our last video. It did reach 114
Yay!
views and 9 likes. So thank you guys so much.
If you like are watching this later after we're live, like comment below on
we will address
anything.
All your comments.
If you have a theory or if you don't agree with something we said or whatever, like let us know.
Usually your own theories, which are super interesting that we will talk about next time. Yeah. But we are live every single Monday at some point in that day.
Some point on Monday.
Talking about the latest episode of Westworld. We only have 4 more episodes to go. We're super excited. It's going to start getting really interesting and action-packed. And I hope
wait, hold on. We didn't talk about the cradle.
Yes, we did.
And like the widescreen thing.
Oh yeah, I did. Widescreen.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm like this.
What does phase space mean?
It's like a phase of space. So maybe this space we're in right now is just a phase.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's referring to the cradle. That it's like it's just a space within.
It's just a phase.
Well, the like caption of the episode was like everyone can choose their own path, and it was like when the Japanese version of Maeve chose to stay and die with her daughter. You know, she's like, "Let me choose my own path. I choose death." Yes. Maeve was like, "All right." So like I feel like it's that kind of thing, like phase space. You know, everyone is worthy of choosing their own path.
But what does the phase part mean?
I don't know. Tell us in the comments below if you have an idea.
Yeah, if you
phase
know.
is a phase.
You're wrong.
I don't know.
You're just wrong.
I'm mostly right all the time.
All right.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and follow us. Doing this every Monday at some point. Woo!
Tune in next Monday, please. Thank you so much for watching. Share with your friends, like this video, and subscribe.
And don't forget to watch Westworld Parody.
Yes,
the link on our channel.
The link is in the description below. Please do watch that. It is awesome.
Thank you so much. We'll see you next Monday at some point.
Bye. Woo!